Today we're going to go over the mods to the Jeep. What is up, everybody? This is our 2019 Rubicon two-door. We absolutely love this color. We love the two-door. We've had four doors, we've had two doors, we've had manuals, and we've had automatics. We just try everything. We have bolted on so much stuff in our driveway on all these Jeeps. We just want to try something different, but we couldn't wait to get our hands on this color. So coming up in here into the fender, we decided this time to go with Quake. We have done American Adventure Lab in the past on all of our Jeeps, and we just didn't have any good luck with them. They look great, the quality looks amazing, but we always had a fender light, we had yellowing, just little glitches, and so we wanted to try something different. So we went with Quake this time, just to see if we could have any better luck with these. They look great. So far, the dash light has never came on and never needed a kit or a box to make it stop hyper flashing. It just does it straight from the box. Coming over here to the light, we have the LED package, and I can't stress enough how terrible the halogen package is on these Jeeps. There's nothing better than aftermarket or these projector lights. Over here is the front-facing camera. This is the add-on from Z Automotive. You do have to have a taser to get this. Easy install. I'll do a video on that later. But it only is in HD, or SD I should say, not HD. But coming down here into the front of the Jeep, we have KC lights. We have never ran KC lights, but these, they seem to work pretty well. They're LED, give a little bit extra light when you're off-roading. Coming down here, we got the Warn winch, and we have ran Smittybilt. We've ran a bunch of cheaper brands, Borderland, but Warn has always been proven quality. I don't think that we've really had any problems with any of them, but we just really wanted to make sure that we didn't have any problems if we got into a bind. We rarely have to use them, but if you do, you definitely want them to work. We did the Sidewinder in the front. We've done ultra hooks, but the paint chips on them so easily. The quality's fine on them. The paint just chipped on them a lot, but just wanted to match these two up. We did the steel front bumper from the factory. We wanted something a little more streamlined and clean, and we've done aftermarket in the past. They just are a little more rugged. It just depends on what you're looking for. I think these are a little bit lighter too. I think the bumpers are a little bit lighter than aftermarket, but coming around here to the side of the Jeep. Looking in the inner fender here, you can see we went with Jeep Federation inner fenders. The price point on these are excellent. We took them raw metal up to our local powder coating place and had them powder coated. We've ran AAL in the past, and they are phenomenal. The quality on American Adventure Lab is amazing. The reason we couldn't run them on these was because we did a Grim Off-Road kit with the ARB dual compressors behind the inner fender there, and it would hit. We had to bend it out to get it to fit, and this provided a little more airflow as well to keep the engine compartment from overheating. But you can see here, it just has a little L bracket there. Other than that, it's a pretty solid one-piece design, and it bolted up pretty easily. There was a couple of tight spots. But looking up here, we did the American Adventure Lab retention kit. If you ever decide to chop your fenders, then I highly recommend doing something like this. There's not a lot of companies that have many options on this, but they did a great job with these. And if you've ever been on the highway with your fenders chopped and those plastic clips and went by a semi, these things just try to come off. They flop around everywhere. With this kit, they just make it so much more solid. Coming down here, we have our B-locks. We are running 37-inch Nitto Ridge grapplers. We wanted to go with STT Pros again. We've had such good luck with them, but I couldn't pass up the price that I got these for. The wheels, we get asked a lot about these. They are Bavarian, they're German, they're made for Jeep, and they have the offsets the same as factory. So we're trying to keep the weight closer to the body because 37s are a heavy tire on the front suspension of these Jeeps and just wears the parts out. Looking up in here, we did a Rubicon Express lift. This is the 2-inch lift. It has more of a factory ride feel than the lifts we've done in the past. We'll probably change some components on it later as they wear out, but we wanted something lower to the ground with the biggest tire we could fit possible. We do a lot of off-roading and trail riding, so we are going to put these things through some work, and we will let you know how they hold up in the future, but right now we love the ride quality.
Damn!
Coming around here to the rock sliders. These are Metal Cloak, and we absolutely love these. We've ran them on Jeeps in the past. We've put these things to the test. We've hit trees and rocks, and we've never dented or bent these rock sliders. They've held the entire Jeep up. So we knew when we were putting these on, we had to go right back to them. I want to come right back up here to the front and open the hood and show you what the intake looks like for the ARB mounting bracket from Grimm and what it does. And so essentially the mounting bracket behind the inner fender mounts the compressor, but it also comes with this bracket up top which mounts right here, and it reroutes the intakes so they're above water lines. If you ever wake through water, it doesn't suck it up into the compressor. It also has this little side bracket here, and you can put the switch for the ARB right there to turn it on and off, and a chuck right here. But I chose to reroute the wire, or the hose I mean, to the rear of the Jeep instead of using that chuck, but I left this here in case something were to happen with the airline. I ran it right here into the frame, and if anything were to happen to this line, I can just disconnect it and plug a chuck and still use the airline that is under the hood. You can see the line going in right there to the frame, and it runs all the way back underneath the Jeep along with the off-road lights, the rock lights, and the rock lights are Lux. This is my first time running Lux, but the quality seems top-notch, and they're magnetic, so you can just pull the magnets off and reroute them somewhere else if you don't like where they are instead of having holes. Under here you can see I have a skid plate. It's actually a muffler skid plate, and I drilled holes in it and mounted the air tank. You see the chuck right there to use for air tools or to air up the tires. There is the air tank. It's and one of the train horns. I got one on each end, and they are Klein air horns. And it is a Vi-Air 2.5 gallon air tank. There's the drain so that it can just drain the water out of the air tank and easily get my hand up in there. In front of that, you can see the Metal Cloak diff skid. I haven't changed the rear diff cover yet. That is in the works. Look over here. That's a dust cap I have on this chuck. If I pull this off here, you can see the chuck. It just keeps the debris out of it while we're off-roading because it stays open all the time. This is the tailgate reinforcement. So I chose not to go with Mopar. I've ran Mopar, but they're so expensive. I thought I would try one of these to see if it would hold up compared to it. And I kind of just put my own little decal here on it. Little cool little touch. And then I chose to go with Terraflex, the tire carrier. It's all metal instead of having the plastic factory one and just raising it up. This one is fully adjustable, and you can put it all the way back against the bump stops and adjust it however high or back you want it to go. It also has the camera sticking out far enough to see past the tire. Under here is the Borla muffler. This is I got the entire kit, but I decided just to dump it off because we couldn't find a way to route it. We had it on the lift and just could not find a way to route it with this skid plate up there. So I just stuck this on here to test it out to see if the exhaust fumes would come back into the Jeep. So far they haven't, and it's been super quiet, which is exactly what I wanted. I'm gonna come around here and look at the other inner fender on the rear. Hey Tracker, hi buddy. Such a ham. So right here, we have not got the inner fenders done yet. So I'm thinking I'm going to use the factory inner fenders and just cut them down on the rear for now, but we'll see. This was probably the first mod we did. We took the antenna off as soon as we got the Jeep, and we wanted something functional. We've ran the bullet antennas in the past, and they just have not functioned at all. So at least this functions and goes with the body line of the Jeep pretty well. It looks great. Coming up here, I've done these hood vents. I've cut them out before. I've used metal ones, but we have these vents right here in the inner fenders to keep the heat out of the engine bay. And so far, it's kept the engine from kicking the fan on when we're off-roading, but we haven't been in the hot summer days yet, so time will tell. Let's hop inside the Jeep here on the passenger side. We run this little grab handle here is spiderweb shade, just to throw some things in. We keep a knife and some flashlights and just junk. We just throw some extra stuff in there. We got some sunglasses and things like that. Up here, we're running ram mounts. We've ran bullet point before. We are running a ram mount arm here, but the little ball that screws into the grab handle right here is the bullet point 1-inch ball. We've ran CMM before. They make one as well. Neither one are really much different. I think the CMM one might be a little bit heavier, but they both work great. Like, we haven't had any problems with either one of them. Bullet point phone mounts hold up great. I think 67 Designs makes us, they're both kind of similar, and they both work really well. We just want to try something different. This track up here is amazing. It uses the factory screw holes. You just take the little balls, twist them, slide them around, and tighten them back up wherever you want to move them to. Up here we have the spiderweb shade and the grab handles. You can see I attached the sunglasses here, and over here I attached a little bag for extra things, just to have extra storage. The Jeep's so limited in storage, it's nice to have, to get creative, I should say, and put extra little bags up here so we can throw, whatever we want to in them. Behind the seat, you can see here that I don't run a back seat. I have a Yeti cooler back here, and I attached the straps to where the seat was mounted, and this bracket with the axe and shovel that I have on here. Up here, I have a bag attached to the roll bar, but it kind of just swings around. I think I'm going to try to remount it, or maybe just try something different altogether. I also got these spiderweb shade seatbelt holders. I don't run the back seat, so this keeps the wind from flapping the back seat belts when the top is down. On the back of the seat, I have a couple of bags connected to the molly. I keep my winch controller in this side, an extra knife. I want to easily be able to reach the winch controller in case I'm in a bind as a driver. On this side over here, I have some extra air down tools. Don't really use those much anymore because I use the 4-tire air down system. In between that, I keep a soft shackle and a snatch ring. I used to run a snatch block, but it was so bulky. This thing works so much better, so much lighter. On the side of it here, I have a extra battery for my radio, and on the other side, I have an extra radio just in case somebody is riding with us doesn't have one or my radio fails. Up here on the top of the seat, I have an Atomic Monkey fire extinguisher holder. Definitely want to be able to reach those. If something were to catch on fire, just want to be able to reach in there and grab it. That's pretty much it on this side. I got that blanket in the middle for our dog, Tracker. He rides with us pretty much everywhere just to keep the center console from getting all scratched up. Coming around this side, on the back of this seat, I have a 511 bag for a medical kit, just in case somebody gets hurt. I got a soft shackle, extra knife, got some gloves in there, got a roll tool bag, a water bottle, a valve stem replace kit, and a torque wrench under my seat just in case. I also have a bottle jack on the other side under my seat. I have this dry bag. I keep all these extra clothes in there in case we have the top down and nothing will get wet. Always have an extra pair of clothes in there, and then a blanket below that because my wife is always cold. She always has to have extra blankets. Got the Yeti cooler, and that bag is for the windows on the soft top so they don't get scratched up, because we've scratched a few and they're really hard to see out of and they're easily scratched. So I got that bag just to kind of keep them protected. The only other things I keep in the Jeep are a mesh trash bag to hang on the back tire so we can pick up trash we see along the trail and for ourselves, just to keep everything clean on the trails, since we all really want to be able to use these trails for the rest of our lives and our children's lives. So we definitely want to keep the environment clean. In the bag on the back of the roll cage, I keep some flashlights, and I also have a battery jump pack in there just in case something were to happen. I also deleted the aux battery, so underneath the battery I pulled all that out. I'll do a video later on how to do that. Underneath here I have a metal cloak, diff skid, and the front diff cover. Just because it takes the most abuse, I wanted to get that one knocked out before I did the rears. That pretty much wraps up this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll leave you with this last little clip here. Until next time.
Jesus.